Donald Trump is at the center of a lengthy investigation tracking his behavior after the 2020 election leading up to the January 6th riot. New evidence was introduced, including outtakes of an address on January 7th.
Whenever you're ready, sir.
I would like to begin by addressing the heinous attack yesterday. You do not represent our country, and if you broke the law, you can't say that. I already said you will pay.
According to testimony from the House committee hearings, Trump and those around him entertained conspiracy theories about voter fraud.
They can only win if they cheat.
And privately and eventually publicly encouraged a march to the Capitol that began with a tweet and ended with 5 people dead.
Here's what will be clear by the end of this hearing. President Trump did not fail to act. He chose not to act.
The day after the 2020 election, then President Trump declared that he had won and that the election was a fraud.
We were getting ready to win this election. Frankly, we did win this election.
They cheated and they rigged our presidential election, but we will still win it.
During the hearings, a former Trump supporter explained that the rhetoric from the president persuaded him to travel from his home in Ohio to the Capitol on January 6th.
And when you heard from President Trump that the election was stolen, how did that make you feel?
Oh, I was very upset, as were most of his supporters. That's basically what got me to come down here.
On November 7th, Joe Biden officially declared victory. In the weeks following, Trump appeared to pursue unproven theories from supporters who told him the election was stolen, even as government agencies continued to find no evidence. In the hearings, witnesses described a White House meeting on December 18th, in which election deniers presented Trump with supposed evidence of fraud. White House attorneys tried to intervene, and the meeting grew tense.
What response did you get when you asked Ms. Powell and her colleagues?
A disregard, I would say, a general disregard for the importance of actually backing up what you say with facts.
In late December, Trump first tweeted about a rally scheduled for January 6th. Trump at the time did not say publicly that he would ask his followers to march to the Capitol that day, but many people seem to have had prior knowledge. Soon after the tweet, right-wing media personalities promoted the event on their platforms.
Storming right into the Capitol. We know the rules of engagement. If you have enough people, you can push down any kind of a fence or a wall.
On January 2nd, former Trump campaign spokesperson Katrina Pearson emailed rally organizers to warn them of the plan.
She wrote, "POTUS expectations are to have something intimate at the Ellipse and call on everyone to march to the Capitol."
2 days later, Kylie Kremer, a crowd organizer with the Stop the Steal movement, texted MyPillow CEO Mike Lindell about plans for the 6th.
The organizer says, this stays between us. POTUS is going to have us march there / the Capitol. It cannot get out about the second stage, but POTUS is going to just call for it, quote, unexpectedly.
Just before 11 a.m. on January 6th, the president called Mike Pence in what became a heated conversation, asking him to declare Trump the winner, according to Ivanka Trump's testimony.
Mike Pence said no. He resisted the pressure. He knew it was illegal. He knew it was wrong.
At noon, Trump spoke to the crowd at the Ellipse near the White House.
We will never give up. We will never concede. We're going to walk down to the Capitol because you'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength and you have to be strong.
By 1 p.m., supporters had started marching towards the Capitol. According to secondhand testimony from Hutchinson, Trump wanted to go to the Capitol himself after the speech, even though Secret Service and White House counsel raised serious concerns.
The president said something to the effect of, "I'm the effing president, take me up to the Capitol now." To which Bobby responded, "Sir, we have to go back to the West Wing."
At 1:03 p.m., Mike Pence brought the U.S. Senate into session. By 1:20 p.m., National Security Council chat logs confirmed that Trump was back in the Oval Office.
Within 15 minutes of leaving the stage, President Trump knew that the Capitol was besieged and under attack. At 1:25, President Trump went to the private dining room off the Oval Office. From 1:25 until 4 o'clock, the president stayed in his dining room.
At 1:49 p.m., D.C. police officials declared a riot.
Here, we're going to give riot warning. We're going to try to get compliance, but this is now effectively a riot.
13:49 hours, declaring it a riot.
At 2:12 p.m., the Capitol was breached for the first time through windows in the Senate wing on the west side of the building. A minute later, Vice President Mike Pence's security team made plans to move him to a safe location.
If we lose any more time, we may lose the ability to leave.
The members of the VP detail at this time were starting to fear for their own lives. And I don't like talking about it, but there were calls to say goodbye to family members, so on and so forth. It was getting, for whatever the reason was on the ground, the VP detail thought that this was about to get very ugly.
Pence was rushed to a room next to the Senate chamber, at one point being less than 40 feet from a group of protesters. At the same time, Capitol Police Officer Eugene Goodman led another group of rioters away from the Senate. At 2:24 p.m., President Trump made his first public comment over Twitter, spurring on crowds at the Capitol.
Our investigation found that immediately after the president's 2:24 p.m. tweet, the crowds both outside the Capitol and inside the Capitol surged.
Minutes later, Pence was taken to safety at an underground loading dock. Witness Sarah Matthews says former White House press secretary Kayleigh McEnany was in a room with Trump as he drafted his next tweet and relayed the experience to her.
We were in a room full of people, but people weren't paying attention, and so she looked directly at me and in a hushed tone shared with me that the president did not want to include any sort of mention of peace in that tweet. And it wasn't until Ivanka Trump suggested the phrase, "stay peaceful," that he finally agreed to include it.
He sent a tweet at 2:38 p.m. asking protesters to stay peaceful, and the rioters took notice, according to audio released by the January 6th committee.
Trump just tweeted, "Please support our Capitol Police. They are on our side. Do not harm them."
That's saying a lot by what he didn't say. He didn't say not to do anything to the congressman.
Around 4 p.m., Biden made a statement calling on Trump to intervene.
I call on President Trump to go on national television now to fulfill his oath and defend the Constitution and demand an end to this siege.
Less than 10 minutes later, Trump tweeted a video.
This was a fraudulent election, but we can't play into the hands of these people. We have to have peace. So go home. We love you. You're very special.
Less than half an hour later, footage shows Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell on a call with Acting Secretary of Defense Chris Miller, surrounded by congressional leaders making plans to resume their work.
We're not going to let these people keep us from finishing our business, so we need you to get the building cleared, give us the okay so we can go back in session and finish up the people's business as soon as possible.
Hours later, the Capitol was deemed secure, and Pence reconvened the Senate. At 3:40 a.m. on January 7th, Pence officially declared Trump's and his election defeat.
The chair declares the joint session dissolved.
The next day, footage shows Trump struggling to put his thoughts about the riot into words.
Okay, I'll do this. I'm going to do this. Let's go. But this election is now over. Congress has certified the results. I don't want to say the election's over.
Donald Trump's conduct on January 6th was a supreme violation of his oath of office and a complete dereliction of his duty to our nation. It is a stain on our history.
Just want to say, Congress has certified the results without saying the election's over, okay?
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.